Good afternoon. Thank you for joining my channel, Gardening on One Knee in Zone 5B, where I'm going to kind of help guide you through maybe your first year of gardening and try to take a little of the intimidation out. Now, last week on the 22nd, I started a bunch of seeds in Ziploc bags, just like this. I just have them on wet paper towels, sealed up in a Ziploc bag, and they're all labeled. I'll show you. Just like that. And there's a little bit of condensation in the bag. That's normal and that's perfectly fine. Now today, when I was getting ready for work, I thought, oh, I'm gonna go and see if any of them are sprouting, thinking they're not, because most of these need a week or in some cases even longer. So much to my surprise, I have some jalapenos that sprouted. And then I kind of started looking around, and there was two other ones that I saw that sprouted. Oh yeah, here's a banana pepper that sprouted. My eyesight's pretty bad. This one here is California Wonder. There's one that sprouted. The California Wonder seeds, those are from 2022. So those are older seeds and they're still viable. So that's a good sign. The banana peppers, I think those were from 2022 also. That's an older envelope of seeds. And then the jalapenos were from 2021. So these are 4-year-old seeds. I don't think I saw any other ones that had sprouted. No cayenne so far. Ooh, 3 Anaheim chilies. Ozark Giants, nothing so far. And then the poblanos, nothing so far. But this is the one that's going to take 14 to 28 days. So you can kind of see the seeds. I should kind of get the light off of there. You can kind of see that the seeds are a little bit puffed up. They're hydrated because of the moisture in here. And I just keep them on this cookie sheet like this. And I put them out here on my gas stove. The pilots keep this area a little bit warm, and then that warmth kind of goes through the bottom of the pan and disperses evenly. So it's kind of like a growing mat, which I do have one growing mat, but I don't use it. I use this method. There's nothing wrong with those growing mats. Peppers like warm temperatures to germinate, so I probably should just use it instead of this, but as long as the pilot's on, I might as well just use that as my resource. So I'm going to show you how I plant the peppers now. I have these little seed trays, and they come with a lid, and then this here spins. So while you're waiting for green things to sprout up, you can keep it closed, but then as things sprout up, you're going to want to open it for some ventilation. And after about a week, then I take it totally off, as long as most of the green plants are showing. We're going to be planting some of these in different phases. When I label my peppers or whatever I'm germinating this way, I always go by the date that I put them into a growing environment. So this was February 22nd. So that's the day that I'm going to label these. And all I do, oh yeah, I wanted to show you. This is one of those trays. Excuse me. And this is the insert. The inserts are kind of cool because as the plants develop, you'll be able to see the progress of their roots growing. And sometimes, eventually, they grow right out of the bottom. And you've probably bought plants like that. But you'll be able to see that. Also, too, at the beginning of the year, I have these all stacked, just so it takes up less space. But I take them and I kind of hold them up to the light to see if there's any, like, cracks in the corners. The corners are typically what cracks on pretty much any kind of tray that I've ever used. So I always just kind of look, just because once I start adding water, I don't want puddles on shelves, carpeting, floor, tabletops, anything like that. So anyway, just wanted to show you this is what they look like, and that's kind of like the completed thing. I got these on Amazon some time ago. They come in like an 8-pack or a 6-pack or a 10-pack. If I can find the link, I will put it in the notes for this video here. But anyway, that's what they look like. And then I filled these trays with some soil and I moistened it. I kind of want to talk to you about the soil actually too. You might buy soil and it'll say made in the United States. And that's probably true, but some of the components might come from different areas of the world. A lot of times sphagnum moss, which looks like this, that can come from boggy areas. The United States has some boggy areas, but we don't harvest this as much as a place like Canada does. So anyway, that's what sphagnum moss looks like. It's not, you know, it's kind of more thready. You can kind of see that it's, I don't know, a little hairy looking. I don't know. That's the best way I can think of it. But I wanted to show you that component as well as perlite. Now, perlite comes from different areas of the world also. Mexico, I believe China, Japan, Turkey. I think some of it comes from the United States also. The sphagnum moss, that kind of holds moisture, where this gives a little bit of air in the soil for drainage. When you take these, they're very porous. Can you hear that? I just crushed it. They're very, I don't want to say fragile, making you like tiptoe around this stuff, but it's very, it can get crushed when it's dry. Not a terrible thing. So anyway, we're going to plant some seeds, and I'm going to start labeling the tray. I use frog tape or painter's tape, and then I just cut it into little sections. I have blue and green, but green is what I had last year, and I'm kind of trying to use up that roll. So I'm going to start with green today. We'll just see where it goes from there. So we said I had jalapeno, so I'm going to make a little jalapeno tag. And the date was 2/22. I have quite a few jalapeno seeds, so I'm going to designate a full tray to just jalapenos. So that's the only label I'm going to put on here. And I'll just stick that on this tray, right about here. Nothing too fancy. Now, what I'm going to do now too is make some little holes here. I think I saw 3 or 4 seeds ready. So I'm just going to put a little hole in here. I mean, you could probably do this with your finger. But you just want the little hole so that the seed goes in there. Now, part of the seed is sprouted, and I'll show you that, you know, when I pull it out of the baggie. You don't have to worry about dropping the seed in the hole and getting that little sprouty part to point up, because a seed knows how to right itself in the hole. There we go. And sometimes when you buy potting soil, there'll be sticks, sometimes stones. I just pick those out of there because you don't want the roots to have to go around anything. You want loose soil. And the reason why I told you about the perlite and the sphagnum moss is there is a possibility that, say, if your product is made in the United States, the components might come from outside of the United States. And now that there's tariffs, it could increase the price a little bit. Boo. So anyway, so let's get started here planting. This is so exciting. I was just so fired up because I came around here this morning before work and I was like, oh yeah, let's see if anything's growing. And it shouldn't have been, because so many of these say 7 days, 12 days, 10 days, 24 days, whatever. So one can dream, which is what I do. And when I came here today, this morning, I was like, wow, I can't believe that there's so many sprouting. So anywho, so now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get the paper towel to kind of sit towards the bottom of the bag. So now when we're looking in the bag, it kind of looks like that. So I'm gonna have a little bit of room here to work with a toothpick, and I'm gonna pull those seeds out with a toothpick. All right, let's see here. Where was that first one that I saw? Right here, I believe. Bear with me here. My eyesight is just terrible. All right. Maybe I can gently get it out with my finger. You want to be a little careful around that part that's sprouting, because you don't want to break that off, because then the seed might not have enough inside to produce a new shoot. So looking right here on the camera, can you see the little sprout now? That's a good sign. That's what we want. Germination means sprouting. So that's a term that can be interchanged. Fortunately, on the back of seed bags, it usually just says germination. But anyway, germination means sprouting. So I'm just going to put that one right in here. There we go. Now, I'm not going to push it all the way in because I need to kind of keep track of which direction I'm going or how many rows. And I'm just going to kind of make a note of that. And I do have a 2025 calendar. I'll remember to show you that in one of the upcoming videos. But I do make notes as far as what I'm planting, what I'm seeding, what has sprouted, when I fertilize, when I trim, when I harvest, what I do with the product. I weigh the product, and then I preserve it. So anyway, let's go get another one here. Again, I'm just kind of getting the wet paper towel to stay to the bottom. And here's another one. Is there 3 or 4? 3. So I'm just, since I have 3 rows going this way and 4 going this way, today I'm just going to use these first 3. And again, can you see the little sprout on that one? Kind of cool. So again, remember, I don't have to worry about the sprout pointing up because the seed knows to right itself. There we go. And then there's one more kind of closer to the bottom. Now, yes, there's air getting into this bag, but don't worry because the paper towel is plenty moist and you're not taking anything away from the environment inside the baggie. Let me see this one here. Yep, this is another one. Can you see this one? There we go. So we're going to put that one in the ground. Oh, wait. Let me just double check to make sure there aren't any more. There's not. Okay, so we're starting with 3 today. And I'm going to kind of push those in the ground a little bit. It doesn't take a lot of work because remember you got the hole, so you're just kind of just guiding them downward. There. And then, so I keep track of what rows have plants in them. I'm just going to take a little piece of tape. And then I'm just going to place it right here so that I know this row is full. I'm not going to add any more to that. All right, so that's all I have for jalapenos. Remember, this whole tray is going to be jalapenos eventually because we have a lot more seeds that we're waiting to germinate, also known as sprout. All right, so this one here, I can just put a lid on. We'll just set that one aside. I'll be moving this all up to the front of the house in the living room. In spring, my living room turns into a bit of a nursery. There's usually a way to get to one chair. I hardly ever have people over. Most of my friends live further away, so I hardly ever have people over, and those that do come over, they know what to expect. But I do put in some shelves with grow lights on, and I'll explain why I have grow lights versus a shop light when we get to that point. So anyway, we got jalapenos set. Now, this flat here, now you see I have kind of a lot of banana pepper seeds here. So I'm gonna designate this whole tray to banana peppers. And there is just one so far. All right, that's not too difficult. So we're going to do banana peppers. You can also draw little maps, which I've done plenty of times too, just to kind of keep track of where everything is. Banana pepper. And again, I seeded these, or I got them into their environment on February 22nd, so that's the day I'm going to put on my tray. peppers are kind of slow growers, so if you're seeding these and you don't see a great big pepper plant in a few weeks, don't panic. They're very slow to grow unless they have, I think it's like they like 76 to 80 degree temperatures, which that is just way too warm for my house. I keep my temperature at about 63. There's a fireplace that kicks in every now and then, and you know, in the living room where the sun hits, because that faces south, that room gets more cozy, more warm. So let's see here. This one here, I'm just gonna put a little spot here. Oops, I've got a piece of tape started, because we only have the one seed. And the other thing too is you could technically wait until you have more so that you can complete a whole row. I'm just too excited. Too excited. There we go. And then let's see. Some days, we said banana pepper. The other thing too, because this is on a paper towel, paper towels are a little bit fibrous because they make them out of like a wood pulp. And if you let the roots develop, or I shouldn't say the root, the sprout develop too much, it might start to work its way into those fibers, and then you have even a bigger chance of breaking that little sprout off when you start to seed. So it's always better to catch them in the first couple of days. So this one has just the one, and it's way at the bottom. And I'm just going to kind of carefully open this so that the paper towel sticks to the bottom. And I just kind of put my finger on the top edge of the paper towel to get at it. Now, where did I see that one? There it is. So I'm going to try to get that one out of there. Now remember, this is a banana pepper. And the reason why I'm growing those is for a little bit of color in my salsa. So there we go. I'm not sure if you can see the sprout, but anyway, so let me just double check my spot here. Now some days, especially once it gets into their germination, I don't know what you call it, time frame. Once it gets into this germination time frame, you're going to see a lot more sprouting every day. Tomorrow I might have 2 or 3 more of these that sprouted, and then I can just add them on in. So I'm just going to guide this down a little bit, cover it, and then I'm going to put a lid on it. So now we've got one banana pepper. Just going to set this aside for now. Now I saw, what else did I see? I didn't see any California Wonder. Oh, there is a California Wonder. This is going to be in a tray all by itself also. The real hot ones here, the cayenne, Anaheim chili, well, the Ozark Giants aren't hot, and the poblano, those, well, the Ozark Giants will probably get their own tray when they start sprouting. But these hotter ones, I'm only going to designate to maybe like part of a tray. Now poblanos are kind of popular. People like to roast those on the grill, so I might plant more of those, but we'll see. I don't have to make up my mind just yet today. So California Wonder. Oh wait, is that a second one? Oh no. Like I said, my eyesight is terrible. So again, I want to label my container first. California Wonder, by the way, is a green pepper. And it'll be green on the plant first. If you let it on there a little longer, you'll start to see it go into an orange color and then eventually red. So your red peppers and green peppers pretty much come from the same plant. It's just when you pick them at what phase of ripening. California Wonder. Yeah, California Wonder. And again, I put these in their growing environment on February 22nd. So that's the date I'm going to put on here. Get my label on my tray. Just planting 7 varieties. And I went through why I was planting those in a different video. But California Wonder is one that I'm going to use for salsa. The poblano is actually the pepper that they make chili pepper out of. So that's why I'm growing that one. Cayenne pepper, well, the answer is right there. It's cayenne. The Anaheim chili is a pepper that they use to make sriracha sauce, or sriracha sauce. And I like that. So that's the reason why I'm growing that one. And jalapenos, well, that'll go into salsa. It'll go into fire cider. And then I also fill those with cream cheese. But I mentioned that in another video, so I won't dwell on that too much. All right, so let's do this. And again, there's only one. I'm so excited. And let's see here again. Move this aside a little bit. Just opening the bag, kind of pressing on the paper towel so it stays to the bottom like that, so I can get my fingers in there and get my little seed. And where were you? Right there. I was really surprised that some of these seeds were sprouting already, especially the older seeds. They didn't let me down. So right there, not sure if you can see that okay. There's a little sprout on there. We're just gonna put that here. Now I'll take some notes and I'll make some notes on this because I'm in the active planting stage, and right now only a few are sprouting a day. But once, like I said, we get more into that germination time frame, we'll see more and more sprouting each day, and we'll have more to plant. So let's see here if I thought of everything that I wanted to explain and show you how I do this. I think so. I also bottom water. Once these plants get to be about this tall, I start to water from the bottom to guide the roots down for the moisture. And then, since this is just regular potting soil, I will fertilize. Now, I won't fertilize these guys as much as I would fertilize onions. My onions, I like to fertilize maybe 2 or 3 times a month. Yeah, 2 or 3 times a month, 2 for sure. But these guys, they'll probably only get it maybe once every 3 weeks. So it's the end of February, March, April. So they'll probably only get fertilized 2 times before they're going to really go outside or go to another home. So now these California Wonder Peppers, it says that it takes 10 to 21 days for them to sprout. I did this last Saturday, so this was in 6 days. So just because the seed packet says one thing, it can surprise you. It can have ambitious seeds. And that's also kind of why I like to do it here. Because, like I said, some of these seed packets, they're from 2021, or yeah, jalapenos are from 2021, and then the bananas and the California Wonders are from 2022. The other seed packets are all from this year. But sometimes they just start to give up because they're an older seed. With peppers, though, I'm kind of lucky. I get a pretty good germination rate, even if they are a little bit older of a seed. So don't throw your seeds out every year just because it says, oh, these are for 2025. You know, don't do that. You're going to throw away a lot of money. Just for peppers, and I do this with tomatoes, do it this way so that you can see what your viable seeds are before putting them in a tray and taking up the space. Now, right now, it's no fun. I've got 3 new trays, and there's only a total of 5 seeds planted tonight, but I kind of wanted to show you the little setup that I have. I have high hopes for these guys. I'm gonna close this, otherwise the moisture is going to evaporate out. In my front living room window, it faces south, like I said, and it gets warm, and when the sun's in there, we'll start to see condensation. Now, when you open this, you'll see little to no condensation, and then you got to start kind of paying attention. When they just start sprouting, I will dribble water in here, and I'll show you how I do that when that time comes. I'll just dribble water on the top because the seed is still right here close to the top. It's not until they start growing up, you know, when they get about yay high, that the roots are starting to look for more and more room to move. So then when you start watering from the bottom, the roots will get guided down. So I think that's everything that I can think of about peppers. I'm going to be planting the most of the jalapeno, the Ozarks, and California Wonders and Poblanos. And then the other ones, they'll just get divided up. I'll probably do like six chili, 6 cayenne, and 6 of the, what's the other one? Maybe it's just those 2. Oh, then maybe they can just share one. So anyway, I hope this was a little bit informative. The upcoming videos, I believe, are going to be on cold stratification. And I'm going to talk a little bit about zones, planting zones. I know that can be a little intimidating. My neighbor's like, what is 5B? What does that mean? And I guess I just never realized what, like, I know what it is because I've been doing this for quite a while. But yeah, that's a new territory for people that are just getting into gardening. So with that, I'm going to leave you. I hope this was informative. Please like, follow, share. But I have a couple more videos coming up, and I'm looking forward to going through this journey with you. Thanks for your time today. Bye.